And we at Persona have been working recently on climate change and life skills. Climate change is a really important problem that society is facing right now. Global warming and environmental decay and things like that could have a really important impact on our future lives. A lot of young people are worried about climate change. They have this thing called climate change anxiety, which means they're concerned about the future and what the world will be like if it gets warmer and warmer, and maybe there are more storms and the sea gets higher and all that kind of stuff. Life skills like critical thinking, processing information, stress management, things like that can really help people deal with those kind of worries and concerns.
So Pete, can you tell us what your job is and what the focus of your work is?
Yes, I can, Marnie. My job is running a company called Persona Education. And in that company, we've got a website. We've created a website called Persona Life Skills. And that helps schools and colleges and parents who are doing homeschooling to develop their students' life skills. That's why we call it Persona Life Skills. And life skills is all about things like kind of practical things like time management and goal setting and communication skills, talking like we are now, for example. And then some kind of thinking things, intellectual things like critical thinking and creative thinking, which means like coming up with ideas and checking whether information is correct and all that kind of stuff. And then some more intellectual type skills. So that means things like respect and empathy. Empathy is when you try and understand how someone else is feeling. Respect is when you take consideration of their views, not only think about your own things, that kind of stuff. And adaptability, that's another really important one, where you learn how to adapt to different situations and make the most of whatever challenge you might be facing at that time. And we do all that using personality insights. So that means just getting to know yourself better, understanding who you are, how you think and behave and that kind of thing. And then using that knowledge and that insight, we call it personality insights, to help you develop these skills and get better outcomes from the different interactions that you have with different people, whatever situation or whatever challenge it is that you might be facing.
You talk about personality insights. Well, how does it work and help pupils?
Okay, well, personality insights just now means knowing yourself better, basically, but also working out how to know other people better. So the way we do it is everybody who starts using our program, Persona Life Skills, they get to do a quiz. And in that quiz, they answer 20 questions. And it's questions around things like, do you like talking a lot, or are you kind of more of a quiet person? Or if you have the choice between going out with friends or sitting at home on your own, which would you choose? Those kind of things. And using that quiz, we can get a really good understanding of what somebody's personality is like. That means how they tend to think, how they communicate, and how they behave in different situations. And in our Persona Life Skills platform, we give them a really nice picture of their personality using what we call a heat map. So it sort of shows where their personality is focused on our personality framework. And they also get what we call a word cloud, which gives them a bunch of words that help to describe their personality, really. And it just helps them to understand who they are, and not only who they think they are, but also how other people view them or how they come across to other people, which is really important.
What would you like to achieve through your works?
Well, our mission at Persona Education, that means what we want to achieve, is to boost the well-being, academic success, and employability of young people, not as young as you, people aged 11 to 19, that's who we're focusing on mostly. With well-being, what we know is that if young people, teenagers, that kind of age, start to learn those sort of life skills that I was talking about, things like communication skills, critical thinking, and empathy and adaptability and all that stuff, it helps them feel better about themselves. So their well-being is improved. It gives them a bit more self-confidence and a feeling that they can achieve things in life, and they're confident and optimistic about the future. So that's the well-being part of it. The second bit is academic success, and that basically means doing well in your schoolwork, things like maths, which I know you love, Gabby, and the exams that you have to take as you get a bit older in school. And again, these kind of skills, like things like time management, goal setting, perseverance, that means it's like not giving up when something gets tough. Those kind of skills are really useful for helping your academics get better and help you do better in exams. So that's the academic side of it. And then the third part is employability. And that means how easy it is for you to get a job when you get older. So as you get to maybe age 14, 15, 16, 17 or older, you need to start thinking about what you're going to do after school. And for some people, it's about going to university, but for lots of people, go straight into a job.
We're interviewing you as part of the Lessons for Life campaign. Why do you think the Lessons for Life campaign is important?
Well, it is really important, Gabby. And the reason for that is that Lessons for Life is all about trying to increase the level of personal development that kids get in primary school. And what I've been talking about up to now is about students who are aged 13, 15, 17, that kind of age in secondary school. And if they do more personal development in primary school and start to learn these life skills in primary school, it gives them a really strong foundation for when they want to learn them in secondary school. They will be able to do that even better.
What problems in society do you think education can fix?
I actually don't think that education can fix problems in society on its own, right? But what education can do is give young people the knowledge and skills that then enable them to go out after they leave school or after they leave university maybe, or college if they're going to university or college, to start addressing those kind of problems that society has. So maybe things like poverty or hunger or inequality or whatever it might be. So it gives them the capability, if they want to go and start addressing those things after they leave school, which is really, really important. And we at Persona have been working recently on climate change and life skills. Okay, climate change is a really important problem that society is facing right now. Global warming and environmental decay and things like that could have a really important impact on our future lives, especially the future lives of young people like you. So there are life skills that we teach or we help students to learn that can really help with dealing with climate change. A lot of young people are worried about climate change. They have this thing called climate change anxiety, which means they're concerned about the future and what the world would be like if it gets warmer and warmer, and maybe there are more storms and the sea gets higher and all that kind of stuff. And life skills like critical thinking, processing information, and stress management, things like that can really help people deal with those kind of worries and concerns.
What problems do schools face when trying to teach life skills, and how does Persona solve that?
Right. Good question, because there are quite a lot of problems with this area. Now, the biggest one is that schools tend to prioritize academic subjects, so things like maths and English and science, which is important, of course. But that means they don't have enough time left for life skills. And the second thing is that they often don't have enough teachers available to teach things like life skills. So what they do is they get teachers in from different subjects, like they might get a maths teacher to teach a bit of life skills or PSHE. They might get an English teacher to teach another class PSHE or life skills. And those teachers are not specialists in that subject. They find it quite difficult, and they have to spend quite a lot of time preparing for a PSHE lesson or a life skills lesson. Because of that, they're not specialized in that area. It's not the thing that they like to do or they know best. So what Persona Life Skills does, it gives those teachers who are not specialists a ready-made bunch of resources that they can use with their students without having to do any preparation, basically. So all they need to do is right at the beginning when they start using our website, they just need to spend maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes doing a little bit of teacher training online, and then they're ready to go. And inside the website, they have like a pop-up little screen that the students can't see, but the teacher can see, and it tells her or him what to say during that particular lesson that they're teaching. So we make it really easy for the teachers who are doing life skills and PSHE, basically.
We're now at the back to school segment. Pete?
Yes.
Can you tell me what your experience with PSHE or life skills lessons was like when you were in school?
Oh, right. Okay. Actually, I didn't do very much PSHE when I was at school. I don't really know why. But all I can really remember is learning about how smoking cigarettes is really bad for you, which is true, and how drinking alcohol is really bad for you, which is also true. I also learned a bit of first aid, which is how to fix people up if they break their arm or if somebody accidentally falls downstairs, how to help them out before the ambulance arrives, that kind of stuff. That's come in handy a couple of times. But I think what was most useful in that kind of area at school was going on camping trips. I don't know why, but my school used to take us on camping trips to Scotland and Wales. On those trips, I learned to do a few useful things like basic cooking, how to put up a tent, how to look after myself when it was cold and rainy, how to stay dry, how to work with other people to get stuff done, like maybe build a bridge over a little river, things like that. Those were really useful experiences.
Now that you're an adult, is there something you wish you would have learned when you were in school?
I wish I'd learned to know that I'm not always right. Because when I left school, I thought I was always right about everything. And actually, that's not really a great way to go through life, because you can't know everything. A lot of the time, other people know much more than you do. And it's just a good idea to be open-minded and listen to other people and try and learn from them.
We're now going to test your knowledge.
This hack contains many life skill questions for you to answer. Are you ready?
Not really, but go ahead anyway.
The topic is feelings and emotions. Question number 1. Can you tell me one action to help control the feeling of jealousy?
Jealousy, yeah. That can be a really difficult emotion to deal with. I think the most important thing when you're trying to deal with jealousy is stop comparing yourself with the other person that you're jealous of. Because everyone has really good stuff going on and maybe some bad stuff. And that person that you're jealous of is also going to have some bad stuff going on. You just don't know about it. So the most important thing is stop comparing yourself with someone else and just focus on the good things in your life.
That was such a great answer.
Thanks, Marnie.
Question number 2. How could you support a friend who is struggling with their feelings and emotions?
This happens a lot, and friends do need support. But it's important to remember that not all friends need the same kind of support. So the most important thing to do is, instead of just kind of charging in and giving them a big hug and telling them everything will be all right, that kind of thing, ask them how you can support them, and then they'll tell you what they need.
Question number 3. Can you describe the feeling of anger?
Oh, that's a difficult one, because we all know what being angry feels like, I think. But trying to describe it, I would say you often feel kind of hot and maybe a bit sweaty and stressed, and makes you sad at the same time as wanting to go out and break something or maybe try and do something about that problem that's making you angry. It's not really a good idea to respond to anger like that. You definitely shouldn't do anything violent or physical if you feel angry.
Pete, can you tell me what your biggest life lesson is to date?
Well, I've learnt a lot of things during my life, but I think the biggest one is probably to remember to keep on learning all the time. And not only from school books or reading books or, watching documentaries and that kind of thing, but learn from other people. In my spare time, when I'm not doing Persona Life Skills, I'm a karate instructor. And one thing I've learned from that is, even when I'm teaching other people, they can teach me stuff, because other people are sometimes better at me than some of the things I'm trying to teach them, just naturally. And then I can watch what they're doing and learn from them and improve myself, even though I'm the teacher.
If you could change one thing about education, what would it be?
Well, I think it would be to make life skills compulsory in school, because that is really important. And to me, it's a no-brainer. It's one of the most important things that schools need to do now in the 21st century is help their students to improve their life skills all the time.
And that's why people should support Lessons for Life.
Absolutely.
If you could teach kids one thing before they leave primary school, what would it be?
I think it would be to be very open-minded. Make sure that you're not having a kind of what we call a closed mindset, which is you think you know everything already. Really important to be open to all sorts of other influences, lots of different kind of information, different people. There are lots of different people around, and being different isn't a bad thing. In fact, it's really good. If you get together with people that are different from you, they have different experiences, they have different knowledge, they have different ways of doing things. Together, you can achieve much more than you'd be able to achieve on your own.
Before we finish our interview, is there anything else you would like to share for our listeners today?
There is 2 things, actually, if that's all right. The first one is, please support the Lessons for Life campaign, because it's really important any way you can. There's a petition online, you can go and sign that. Not you, but the people out there. They're going to be publishing a white paper soon, so they can download that and read it and support it. All those things, anything they can do is really important. That's number one. Number two is Persona Life Skills. We've got a free personality insights quiz that anybody can do if they're age 11 or above. So that includes you, Gabby. So if you're a student who is interested in discovering more about themselves, or you're a teacher and you've got a classroom full of students who you think it would be really useful for them to discover more about themselves, then just get in touch and you can do our free quiz.
There'll be a link to the website in the description. Thank you so much for being here today. It's been a pleasure to have you here.
I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
To find out more, visit lessonsforlife.org.